What if you could grow bigger and faster by producing energy almost 10 to even 100 times quicker than you already do? But all of this would come at a cost of using a not so good way of producing energy. So, in order to meet your high demands, you'll have to consume a lot. Are you willing to do almost 18 times more work for rapid growth? Well, cancer cells definitely are. Cancer cells are like these lump of mutations, and these mutations allow cancer cells to divide out of control, ignore programmed cell death, invade healthy tissues, hide from the immune system, and create their own blood vessels. In addition, these mutations also allow cancer cells to reprogram the way they produce their energy. Normal cells use a three-stage process to produce ATP from glucose. The first step is glycolysis, where glucose is broken down into 2-pyruvate, releasing 2 ATP. The next step is the citric acid cycle, where 2 more molecules of ATP are produced. The final stage is oxidative phosphorylation, where oxygen is used to produce almost 30 ATP. But cancer cells are smarter. Most tumor cells increase their glycolysis activity and convert glucose to pyruvate to lactic acid. Most cells use this process when there's a lack of oxygen or the mitochondria isn't working. But cancer cells use this when there's a lot of oxygen available and the mitochondria is well functioning. This phenomenon is known as aerobic glycolysis, or the Warburg effect, first discovered by Otto Warburg in the 1920s. So what is smart about this extra work that cancer cells do? Even though cancer cells use an inefficient way of producing energy, they produce it really fast and consume a lot of glucose. So at the end, they have just enough energy. Also, cancer's high intake of glucose actually helps it create more cells, as many forms of glucose can be used to produce things such as amino acids, lipids, and nucleotides. For example, the pentose phosphate pathway uses a form of glucose to produce ribose phosphate, which can later be used to produce nucleotides. NADPH is also producing this process, which helps cancer cells battle with oxidative stress and also increase production of fatty acids and other biosynthesis. Secondly, the immense amount of lactate produced during glycolysis does not go to waste. Cancer cells reuse lactate to fuel the citric acid cycle, which produces more energy and important molecules for the tumor. Lactic is also secreted into the surrounding, which can make it very acidic, suppressing immune cells. Last but not least, many proteins are also activated during aerobic glycolysis, which help tumors survive during changing oxygen levels and also metastasize. Understanding aerobic glycolysis is one step towards curing this complex disease. Scientists have already taken advantage of cancer's glucose addiction and use it in PET scans to detect tumors. There are also drugs in trial right now that target different aspects of cancer's complex metabolism. Every day, new things are being discovered, and it's only a matter of time until we untangle cancer's mysteries.